Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the charts, but also I want to pay a bit more attention in this video to the indicators that I oftentimes look at in the background that I don't necessarily mention too much here in these videos, where I focus a lot on the Elliott Wave method that in my view, especially in the crypto market as well, predicts very accurately where prices can go, what the market can do. It tells you about the capabilities of the market. Not necessarily what the market will do, but based on these waves, and if you can read them very well, then it can give you a very good probability about where the price might be heading. So we're going to start with Bitcoin and just really recap where we are before we start. Here we are in my view, and this is one possible count, one very likely count in my view of the Elliott Waves. Other ones are possible, yeah, but I think very, very unlikely, which is why I'm focusing mainly on this view here. I showed you 2-3 alternatives, but they all point towards the downside here into this range between 20 and 29k. So this is where I think this price is going to go. There are alternatives, as I said, but I think this is for me the most likely one. As there are always alternatives, there is a possibility that we can go up from here, for example. You know, there is one. This could, for example, be a 5-wave structure here, and then you have just an ABC here, a small one, and then you go up from here. This could be a possibility, but it is very unlikely. We have, in my view, a 3-wave structure here. We've got this structure here, which I never liked, and also this structure here that I talked about in September that I didn't like at all, that I believed we couldn't really build a sustainable move up on this structure. Nevertheless, we made a new all-time high. In the end, I turned bullish, probably a bit too bullish, because we did overshoot the previous high, but in the end, the chart shows its face, and in the end, in my view, this was then an ABC. I did mention it, but didn't really want to be too bearish at the time, probably should have been. Nevertheless, since we dropped below key support levels here, I've turned this into this bearish scenario that assumes that we're going to go into 20 to 29k. And yeah, so far it's working out. We're continuing our way down, hit various target levels for altcoins as well that are linked to this price forecast. And now, I mean, it gets clearer and clearer, the view that this, in my view, is the right wave count, and that this is actually the scenario that we are following here. So, there were a few scenarios here. One to go first into this target area here between 55 and 63k, and then go down, basically also building a head and shoulders here. But in the end, both of these scenarios had the same target here between 20 and 29k. I hope 20k is bearish enough. I'm very honest with you. Some of the indicators are really scary, and I'm going to show you that. The only reason I put the 20k here is because it is the high of the previous bull market. Technically, we could even go lower. We could go here, for example, to the 0.786 fib level at 16k. We could even go to the 10k level, the 0.887 fib level. Yeah, this is a possibility. But after this, and that is the good thing, after this, I expect new all-time highs of up to 100k, 125, 162k, maybe even 200k. And the further you come down, the higher you go up. That is typically what's the case. It's pretty much like a spring. That's how it normally works. The further you come down, the higher you also go up. And also that is linked to the indicators, which if they are very, very low, you have a lot of scope and space to move further up. Now, a lot of people ask me always in the comments, is this a good entry point? Should I buy here? Should I buy? I can't tell you, honestly, and I oftentimes don't answer and reply to these questions because I can't tell you what for you a good entry point is. Anybody who's a channel member, silver and gold members get access to Discord. I've got my own buy orders, and I've set them for reasons. I even dollar cost average in now at certain levels, even though I believe prices are going to drop further. And that's purely on the fact that I dollar cost average in at strategic levels. And the reason for that is that at these levels, the probability for a turnaround is there. And I don't want to miss these lows, but I fully recognize that we could drop further with a high likelihood we do. And nevertheless, there are potentials for swings, and this is just my strategy. It's dollar cost averaging in at strategic levels where turnarounds are possible. Sometimes then short-term profit can be taken, And if not, I'm going to hold it until the next wave to the upside, which at the moment I think is a good strategy. If you do expect a very long bear market and you're not prepared to hold for years, it's probably not the best one. But at the moment, I don't expect a very long bear market. The reason is that we are, in my view, ending a wave 2 here, which means that a wave 3 is coming. A wave 3 normally has a rocket start. It is the strongest wave typically, and this does not, for me, speak for a bear market. Also, some of the on-chain indicators are very, very bullish. Yeah, point normally towards new peaks possible, and also the increased adoption and the possibility of a lengthening cycle. Every Bitcoin cycle, the more and more I read about it, I think more we're talking about lengthening cycles. From cycle to cycle, we've seen more a lengthening, yeah, and which means that this cycle should also be longer than the previous one. Maybe add another year to it or another 2 years, which would indicate we might get another peak, another cycle top. So yeah, all of these reasons tell me, or things tell me, that we are going to see another run to the upside, in my view, this year. Yeah, again, it's speculation, but that's what the market is in the end. But if you can understand the charts and so on, and the fundamentals as well, then you can make informed decision. And that is my strategy. But I clearly expect further price drops. Yeah, and one reason for that is just purely, if we take a look here at the indicators, especially the MACD and the RSI. First of all, and this is a 4-day chart. Normally don't show the 4-day chart, but every time where we had a massive bounce, yeah, we came into the oversold range here on the 4-day chart. So you have here back in November 18, for example, we had our low, and this is a real cycle low. Okay, we had a low here and we were oversold on the 4-day chart. The next time we had a significant low was here in March 2020, and we were also oversold on the 4-day chart. We haven't seen that since then. So there is scope, there is more space for further drops here on the 4-day chart. Yeah, in terms of the RSI, we're only at 37 now. So there is more scope to fall. Yeah. Something else which I want to show you, and this is on the MACD and the RSI, and it doesn't really get much clearer than that. This bearish divergence on these two tops here, yeah, which could indicate, yeah, that we had here an ABC, and or even in a possibility, if this would have been a wave 4, a wave 3, a wave 4, and this would have been a wave 5, even then it would have been the end of a cycle, yeah, indicating that we also go into a correction here. So, but if you have a higher high on the price, and it's on the 4-day chart, so it's quite significant, and you have a bearish divergence on the MACD and the RSI, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. And on top of that, as I said, it's the 4-day chart, it's quite significant, and you're coming down here quite hard, especially here with the MACD as well. You actually tried to come up again, but now you're turning the momentum to the downside again. Had you seen here something like that, clear move up, it's clearer. This is what we did back in June, July. You're going up again, but we're far away from that. In my view, we haven't seen the low yet. And in order not to make this video too long, I'm going to show you the monthly chart. And that is really scary. That really concerns me quite a lot. I mean, look at that. On the monthly, I'm talking here about the MACD. This is actually really, really scary. I mean, on the monthly, we've only just really come out here in October, November, out of the overbought range. Yeah, if I zoom out the chart, you can actually, we've been just come out of the overbought range on the RSI, and we're in the bullish range, yes, but we're dropping, and we are still so high. And look at the MACD. How high is the MACD? This is absolutely ridiculous. The MACD is so high, and it's crossing bearish now. If we now see a continuation, a little bit further continuation to the downside here, and you get a bearish cross on the MACD from that height on the monthly chart, then yeah, then I'm actually very honestly not sure if the 20K are bearish enough. But yeah, we'll see. But this is significant, yeah, on the monthly. Normally people don't really talk that much about the monthly, but the monthly chart is highly significant. It really is the high level trend. And if we see that drop here, it's nothing where I would go long at the moment. Yeah, I do start to dollar cost average into Bitcoin below 40K. I do, only because I think that after this, we're going to see prices of, 6-digit prices. And because at any point, prices can turn around. I'd hate to miss these low prices if the price then goes to 100, 150, 200K. But it is to be prepared mentally for further price drops. Yeah. And any money I invest now, I know I won't need for, in the worst case, the next few years, because it's just the case, we are not in an uptrend anymore, in my view. Yeah, we are not. And that is really what I wanted to highlight here, especially with the MACD. And then talking about Cardano, the Cardano chart looks a bit different. Yeah, the Cardano chart looks a bit different. If I go here on the 4-day chart, so first of all, the Cardano chart has retraced already much more than Bitcoin. It started the correction earlier, and this is also the 4-day chart. It started the correction much earlier. Therefore, it's much further ahead in the correction, and it's already retraced all the way down to the 0.887 Fibonacci level, whereas Bitcoin is only up here at the 0.382 Fib level. Yeah, so the 0.887 for Bitcoin would be at 10,000. Okay, so that's just as a note here. Then Cardano here could come down to $1 to remain in this sort of bullish scenario where you have a purple wave 1, you're retracing in a wave 2 here, and the wave 3, the rocket start, would be the next one. Now, Cardano is naturally, because it has dropped much more already, much further ahead in the development of its indicators. On the 4-day chart here, you can clearly see that the MACD is turning around. So what you couldn't see on the Bitcoin chart, because, well, it started, but it then started to gain negative momentum again. Cardano still shows, well, not positive momentum, but the negative momentum is getting reduced and reduced and reduced. So if this is carrying on, even though it's looking like it might go to the downside now again, but you still see reducing downward momentum, then this could lead to a bullish crossover, and this could be here on the 4-day chart, could push the price up. Yeah. If we take a look on the daily, however, we've just crossed bearish, but this has not translated yet into the 4-day chart. Nevertheless, it's showing better than Bitcoin on the 4-day. Also on the weekly, we can see that the downward momentum is slowing down and is getting reduced. Yeah, and also you're lower on the weekly, for example, with where the MACD is standing. If we take a look here on the weekly chart, for example, where the MACD line is for Bitcoin, it hasn't even crossed the 0 line yet. Whereas for Cardano, we've already crossed the 0 line here, pretty much a month ago. Yeah, so it's pretty much a month ahead in terms of where Bitcoin currently is. So it could turn around earlier as well. However, and if we talk about the monthly chart, it scares me as well. Yeah, it scares me as well. The Cardano monthly chart, you can see something similar here. If you get that bearish cross here on the monthly, there's also further downside potential. Now, to be fair, never really paid too much attention here to the monthly chart, but I think it's because it is now pointing clearly to the downside. It is important to take a look at that. Here we already came out of the overbought range a month before Bitcoin. Yeah, so again, at around 4 weeks ahead. Yeah, so that is really what I wanted to show you in terms of the indicators. Now the price today dropped again a little bit after it did go up a little bit. But overall, I think it's running in line with what Bitcoin is doing. It's holding really well compared to some other cryptos. And again, that confirms basically what I said, that it has progressed much earlier with the correction, and therefore the downside potential is a bit more limited. Yeah. Nevertheless, it can fall with Bitcoin. Of course it can. Can it decouple from Bitcoin? I think yes. And if we take a look at the ADABTC chart, I think this has progressed as well quite a lot. On the ADABTC chart, we can see here this potential cup and handle that is forming here, where you see this cup shape and the handle. This is a potential reversal pattern with an ascending triangle as well, and the neckline here at 3040. But as long as we haven't seen the breakout, it's too early to say. However, things are looking not too bad here on this chart, because you have had already a bullish divergence throughout here, this whole period, and a very long period. So you have a clear bullish divergence, which is completely, which is important, which is looking really, really good, to be honest. You can see a potential reversal here. I've been talking about that potential reversal throughout this downtrend, and it has taken, again, a long time. But now you finally see a significant reversal potential here, together with, on the daily, a massive, well, the RSI momentum growing, and the MACD also having made a bullish crossover on the daily. Yeah. And if we now take a look on the 4-day chart, you can also see that we have turned around the momentum here to bullish on the RSI and on the MACD as well. On the MACD, you see we've had a bullish cross, and we're just turning around to the upside. That is good. That is a really, really good sign. And it doesn't appear to be a fake out at the moment. So this could really, and I'm serious now, it's not anything that is sort of made up or anything, but you have a real bullish cross here, especially if you consider where we were before here, when we also crossed, and it took a while. You can see that here. And that was, it's a long time ago, but when we were that low with the MACD, that was in 2018, it took before you crossed, and then it took a while until the price actually went, that Cardano finally outperformed Bitcoin. It took a while, okay? So you get these crosses, and then it takes maybe, how long did that take? It took a while actually. It took from, well, here was the bottom really, that's when it then started to flatten out really. But when it then, from the 10th of September, it started to cross here, and it took a whopping 2 months, no, even 3 months, until it finally started to outperform Bitcoin. And here again, you had a cross. That didn't take that long then. Here as well, you had a cross, but again, then it flattened out, and it again took a while until it finally did outperform Bitcoin. Yeah, so whatever, it can take a moment or it can't. Sometimes we saw it immediately, but it is a very, very important sign that whenever Cardano outperformed Bitcoin, we saw that bearish, that bullish cross. Yeah, so that is happening now, and on the 4-day chart, and that is quite meaningful. And the really good news is that you might see this actually play out on the weekly chart soon. You can see from where we come, quite low on the MACD, this is turning around. And if you see this, this is not losing any, this is not gaining any selling momentum. This is losing selling momentum. This is gaining momentum to the upside. And this is a clear signal. On the weekly will be massive. And if that plays out as a bullish cross on the ADABTC chart, then we're going to see something very, very nice. And on the monthly, we're supposed to see a bearish cross here very soon on the MACD. But with such a power on the weekly, this could be stopped potentially. Yeah? So for that, however, the weekly needs to push to the upside. So, but it's a potential reversal pattern here. Very interesting to track that. And you can see how the momentum is shifting from strong downtrend to sort of, yeah, not that strong downtrend to flattening out, and now potentially an uptrend. Yeah, so I think it's starting to look interesting for ADABTC, and that should then translate into the ADA-USD chart as well, and could help Cardano to hold the dollar level. So that's pretty much my ADABTC, ADA whatever video. Hope you liked it. If you did, please smash the like button, and if you really like the content, please consider joining as a channel member. If you join as silver and gold member, you can join the Telegram group for chats, the Discord group for all sorts of information, a little bit of training, buy and sell orders that I have placed for myself, and also for sorts of other stuff, and a weekly live stream as well. So hope you like the update. Please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.